Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Bienvenidos to I Just Watched. I'm Joseph, and we're jumping into it. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen it. Getting into it overall, I think the movie is... There's so much good in this movie. I think it's a really good movie, and there's a lot to like about it. But this whole movie is strictly set up. It's not a bad movie by any means, but I think I was expecting maybe more. I understand it's a part 1, so part 2 can blow us out of the water, and then when you see it as a whole, you're like, wow. That is amazing. You know, it's 5 hours of greatness, 6 hours of greatness. I think this one was 2 hours and change. And I see potential, but for a 2 hour and change movie, they're only after these, like, literal MacGuffin. It's a key. I was trying to find the key, but I don't have one near me. It's a literal key. This whole movie's about that MacGuffin and setting things up and trying to include new characters that had pre-existed forever, which wasn't bad, but we've seen it as of late. And I mentioned in Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, it just doesn't feel genuine that all of a sudden this person or this character is someone, you know, that's pre-existed this whole time and did this super major important thing to you way back when that made you into who you are now, but it's never touched on. It just doesn't fit right. I feel like there's a better way to include characters in this sense. I don't know, I feel like every time I see a movie and they try to do that, it never quite meshes into the world as smoothly as they'd hope. That being said, I also think everyone killed. I mean, Tom Cruise. I think he did a great job. Pegg, Marcellus Wallace, because he'll forever be Marcellus Wallace. Or Cobra Bubbles. Rebecca Ferguson is back and she's badass as ever. There's a couple scares there before she actually died, and I think her character went out in a way where it was building up and it was expected, but it was actually an intense scene. I gotta give it to this movie. The practical effects, the practical use of effects and such are amazing. They're beautiful and they really make you feel this intense emotions in the situations that are provided. I mean, you have this really cool tight alleyway scene with Tom Cruise and Mantis. I apologize, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, and some other dude. The other dude didn't matter. He was just like henchman number 7 or something. But it was this distraction while Ferguson is trying to fight Bob. You should know who Bob is. He's the face of the entity in this movie, and we'll get into the villain aspect shortly. But their fight scene was really good, and then Hayley Atwell, I think, did a great job. Vanessa Kirby, I'm a fan of. It's funny because I fell in love with her in the super shitty Hobbs and Shaw movie. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That movie is god awful, but the best thing is her character. In Fallout is the first time we get her when it comes to Mission Impossible, if I remember correctly. But I really like her as an actress. I like that she brings this almost James Bond feel. Like, she's suave but badass. Like, she's slick and sly. She always has that persona to her, and I really dig it. The cast was getting immense, and it was good. It was a really good movie. I needed something more than strictly the MacGuffin. We spent the whole entire time trying to get the 2 keys. At the end, we get the 2 keys. The team is semi-separated, and we're trying to deal with this entity that is basically what Bob's character is worshiping and following blindly, kind of, in a way. He's the reason Ethan Hunt is Ethan Hunt. He's the reason he was given the choice and said yes to the choice to join IMF. Oh, before I forget, we got IMF badges. They're really dope. I was going to wear it, but it's too late for that. So basically what I'm saying is I was given the choice. I wasn't given the choice. But it's IMF pin and it's dope. But that's not the point. Bob's character, he was supposed to be Death's representation in this film. He's a badass assassin who doesn't exist, a ghost and blah, 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 blah. And really, I mean, Ferguson almost whooped his ass, and then Tom Cruise had no problem whooping his ass on this train. Every time he was supposed to really step up and be this vicious monster, he really wasn't. Like, everybody was kind of kicking his ass. They just let him live because, again, they needed him to connect or to get more info to or towards the entity, which is this AI who is sentient, which I'm not against that idea. It just felt missing because this movie does what Mission Impossible does best. It teases and it plays with the idea of he or she is a bad guy. Maybe, maybe not. Wait, can we trust him? No. Yes, maybe. Wait, you're a bad guy? No, maybe you're a good guy. It did a lot of that with people just popping up and setting things up in the way they would speak and actions that were taken. So, I mean, I like that aspect of it because then you're kind of trying to figure out who you can and can't trust. But at the same time, when the stakes are so large as they are trying to set them up with this AI, they don't really matter because at the end of the day, you forget them. Just get the key, the MacGuffin, and get to this AI to destroy it before it destroys us. Soft, subtle prequel to some kind of Terminator situation with Skynet. So that was my biggest nitpick, is the entity itself. The idea is cool, but then at the same time, I can't completely hate or dislike it because I'm like, you know what? It's part one. I'm halfway through this adventure. I see the potential that it has and what it's setting up. These set pieces, the action, the characters, the acting, everything was great. I really enjoyed that. But I think the story as of right now left me wanting more. I'm hoping when I watch part two, it ties in together and elevates this movie. That's the difference. If you've seen it, I want to hear your thoughts. Which Mission Impossible movie is your favorite? I would generally say right now Fallout is my favorite, but I gotta wait to watch part two of Dead Reckoning. Love hearing from y'all. Comments, questions, concerns. But until next time, stay safe, be well, y con mucho amor. Adios.